Hi, welcome to RCKicks. On today's show, well, we're building this, the 60th anniversary Ultima JJ. Now, I've been itching to get my hands on this one. Oh, this is right up my street. So that's enough waffling about it. Let's just build it. And I'm going to do step by step for you. So you're going to see everything that's involved with building this beautiful retro vintage racer. Super easy, very easy build actually, goes together fine, no big issues whatsoever. I would recommend building this to anybody, even if it's someone starting out. It's not that difficult at all. There's just not that much to it, so it won't take you very long. But realistically, who's going to buy this? Well, it's going to be a vintage RC fan who's got lots of RCs probably. You're not just going to fall into one of these as your first buggy, are you? Could you take this vintage racing? Yes, 100%, of course you could. The shocks, not overly sold myself, having the reverse shocks. Leaking is always going to be a little bit of an issue, so you might have to tweak them a little bit to get them to work well. If I was going to race it myself, I would definitely be looking at upgrading the shocks more than anything. But some could say, well, you shouldn't really be doing that because running more modern shocks is not vintage racing. But since I always upgrade all my buggies if I take them racing, well, there you go, make of that what you will. So next we turn our attentions to the body. Now this shouldn't be that difficult for me, just got to put the stickers on to cut it out. Then we just got to paint it white basically. There's actual window masks as well, so it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Now there's two wing type setups you can do. This one that I've got, which is the one that was actually done back in the day, and then they do another version which is more modern, which is stronger. So you can pick and choose. They give you the extra parts where the wing is basically mounted off the back, a bit like the Javelin and the Ultima. So they're giving you the option to do both. I'm going to go with the standard one as this will work fine. It is geared up to run their little tiny ESC, so you can actually screw it directly to that plate. But if you've got your own ESC, you could just stick it to there as well, so it's no big issue. I've got it set up to run a 2S lipo pack, but you can run stick as well if you want. So there's quite a few options available to you, and there's a reasonable amount of room down the sides if you wanted to put some receiver. So getting your electronics in this one isn't that difficult. Right, let's paint up the body and get this one done. Tip for you if you're going to be sticking window screen stickers on that have actually got the centers in them, and if they're tinted. If you just take the sticker and stick it straight on, you get tons of air bubbles and it looks terrible. You really don't want that. So if you want to have perfectly clear windows, what you got to do is get yourself some kitchen towel, one wet, one dry. Then get yourself a little bowl of water, dip the towel in the water, put lots of water on the window, take the decal, put that totally in the water as well, then take it and place it. You'll be able to move it around to line it up. Once you're really happy with it, take the wet towel, wipe over it a little bit, then take your dry one and gently start drying it out. And you'll find that there's no air bubbles in there at all, and you'll end up with perfect windows. If I could just ask you to take 2 seconds, if you've watched the videos and you've watched a few and you enjoy it, to hit that subscribe button. 58.6% of you that watch the channel aren't even subscribed. It costs you absolutely nothing. And being that we're such a small RC channel, every new subscriber really helps the algorithm find our content and push it out to more RC fans like you. calling that one done for now. Yes, there's probably a few more bits and pieces I can do to it. I want to put a chassis sticker on the bottom of it, as well as I need to find a motor for it, but they're getting a bit difficult to find. Now, there is a few tips and hints I can give you that I've learned from building this one, especially with the body. Now, the body obviously is from the Tomahawk, not for this chassis, so they've retrofitted it. Now, like I mentioned before, Kyosho gave you some extra stickers. They're a bit overkill, especially on the uprights. Now, these uprights are quite thick. I think they're 3mm, but the gap that they tell you to cut out the body is massive. It's like 10mm, way too much. So what I would recommend when you put those stickers on, cut a thin line down the middle. Don't cut to the actual width, do it thinner, and you'll get a much neater job, because they're just too big, especially around the back. Also, it's going to make it weaker as well, so that's something I wish I'd have done if I'd have known. Another thing is where the steering is, they tell you to cut this big section out. You don't need to cut that much out. You can actually cut a lot less and it would look a lot neater. And also, if you're going to drive yours, it will keep a lot more junk out of the actual chassis instead of these gaping holes. Not sure why they did it like that. There was no need to. The clearance is fine. You could go way further forward on that one. Now, I didn't do it exactly like Boxar. I did change a few little things. The silver roof, I didn't like that at all, but I quite like the two little dots, so I've left it. I did fit it, changed my mind and removed it. I fitted a few other decals in different places. I've got the signature of JJ here. Then also on this side, I put a little bit of information about the car being a 87 Replica, and I put a little Kyosho logo on it. Another thing that I made a slight mistake on, the Kyosho and the Trinity powered at the front, they're slightly lower, so that pushed the number down. So if you're going to do it, put the number on first and then work from that, because I did it the other way around. I did the Trinity first, then I put the Kyosho, then I put the number. So definitely be careful of that, because you don't really want the pin to go through the number, as you've got plenty of room, so why risk it? I put a 60th sticker up in the back here. Now, when I fitted the rear wing, there's actually a sticker for these extra bits. I decided to put the Ultima logo on it, which I like because it gives it a bit of a 3D aspect to it. When you're when you're spraying up the wing, do it a bit like I did on the Phantom, if you've seen that one. Spray the center section first. Don't worry about trying to cover the uprights. Get a good few coats on the center section, then go back and start doing the winglet bits by pulling it out. But get a good few layers in, so just in case if you make a mistake and put too much paint in, you won't actually see it. Another big tip for you, leave the wing for 24 hours before you try and fit it, because you can paint up in there and actually squeeze it together and get the two sides to touch. And if the paint is not really dry, it will actually sort of suction to itself and ruin your paint job. Happened a little bit to me, but I managed to get away with it. So leave the wing. Also, when you fit the wing, if you're using the traditional mounting method, it's actually quite difficult to get this bar through without scratching it. So again, leaving it the extra 24 hours. Now, I put some silver one-sided tape on it to protect it, and I still managed to get a little scratch on it as I was rushing, so I didn't let it dry for 24 hours. But that's what I would highly recommend if you're going to do it. But all in all, I am super chuffed with it. I really like it. It did come out really nice. I wasn't too sold on the rear wing until I actually put the Ultima stickers on it, and that makes it look much more professional, because you can kind of see the double-sided tape, but by putting that on, it actually fits really nice, so I can highly recommend doing that as well. So, one for the collection for sure. Really enjoyed it. Very simple. Anyone could pretty much build this. And painting it up, again, just being in the white, really easy. I didn't even smoke the windows. I just used the stickers this time. So, there you go. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Now, I think that's enough building. We need to do a RTR. So, that's what's coming next. Thanks very much. Please like and subscribe. See you on the next one.